what's happening anymore.
I mean, does anybody really know?
I know. I guess it's like being in a hangover that never ends, and you just like, whatever, this is just the new normal, I guess.
Yeah. So here's a fun one. Uh, so Windows Server 2025 has a new feature called hot patching.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
This,
Oh,
you know where
yep.
this is going? You know
Mm-hmm.
where this is going. So Microsoft has this cool feature. So if you're running Windows Server 2025 and you want to install the latest hot patches and not have to restart it, starting in July, it will cost you $1.50 per core on a server
Per
to not,
core.
yeah,
Per core per month.
per month to not have to restart your Windows Server.
So,
First off,
a couple things.
can I just say that I love the audacity of Microsoft here. It's like, hey, we
I
have
think this
bugs.
was
We're going to
this is,
charge you to fix the bugs that we put in there, and
and
then
we're
we're
going to
going to
punish you for having powerful hardware.
and
So
and we're going to make it so if you don't want to have to fix the bugs that we put in there with a patch that we ship to you and not have to restart and take your own environment
you can
down.
reboot like a peasant.
Oh my god.
You can take your business offline, you jerk. So I know that Linux has hot patch. What's it called? Hot patching.
Yeah. Hot
How much
Pocket,
does
who
Linux
cares?
charge for it? Hot Pockets, yeah.
I
How
don't know.
much does Linux charge for this feature?
They probably pay you. They're like, we're sorry, we have a bug. We know you're going to go down. Here's $1,000 for
The
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 trouble.
thing is, they introduced this to great fanfare last year. Probably at it was this from, well, it would have been before Ignite, I guess, because they were talking about this ahead of time. But and now it's available, and it's like, oh, and by the way, we're charging for it. Also, as soon as this feature was announced, the question was like, well, you're going to bring this to a client too, right? But I mean, they can't. No one's going to pay to not reboot after a Windows update on Windows 11 or whatever. I mean,
Ship it in Windows 12.
I, this is where this is like getting punched in the face. It's like I've been saying for years, like I would pay money
It's
for a
Paul
version
Thurrott's
of
fault.
Windows,
It's
yeah,
your fault.
that didn't bug me, wasn't harassing me, whatever. And maybe they're going to take me at my word. I don't know. Maybe that's going to be Windows 12, the paid edition.
I can guarantee you, because we have conversations not like this. We're not charging for updates at Stardock. But here, I guarantee you, is the conversation that happened inside the walls of Microsoft. They said, look, we can do all this, but it requires additional testing, requires additional overhead for us to be able to implement this.
Yeah.
And how are we going to charge the customer for that additional time that we are incurring to support their systems? And someone's like, just charge them. And somebody went, bingo. And then they did.
I don't know about this though, because I feel like the types of customers that are actually deploying Windows Server 2025 in some kind of on-prem hybrid scenario
Mm-hmm.
are arguably among Microsoft's best customers, right?
Probably.
I mean, for you to even be in that position, I I don't. You're already making money from these
Yeah.
people. I, I don't know. This seems like a huge mistake. Also, I don't. Do you know how this is done? So, like, the way this actually works is, it's sort of like cumulative updates. So every quarter,
Mm-hmm.
they'll ship some. I'm sure it's called a cumulative update that is the normal type of update, and you have to reboot. There's nothing you can do about that. And then it's the interim months that kind of build off of that, and it's probably like a delta updating
Yep.
thing, whatever. And those are the ones that can be, hot patched or whatever. I don't, dude. We figured out how to rip hard drives out of running computers
Yeah.
decades ago without destroying data and all that stuff. You're telling me we can't hot patch an operating system? It's 2020. Like, why are you even talking about operating systems anymore? It's crazy.
God, that reminded. This is one of the. This had to have been at least 10 years ago. I went to an HPE event, and they were
Yeah.
demonstrating how they had increased the percentage of hard drives that could be ripped out. So like they were going through
Right.
this demo, and they were just having people walk up and like rip things out. They're like, yeah, just pick one, just rip it out. I said, what if I unplug it? And they said, no, don't do that. Like unplug the server. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Hold on, this is super
yeah.
important. I'm just kidding.
Probable spam.
Um,
That's what it
yeah, I
calls
don't.
me.
There's no such thing as real phone calls anymore,
I
but of
don't think
course
so.
it's been. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, you can start paying for your hot patches and hot pockets. And people will. That's the thing. Like,
Well,
Someone will do
people.
the calculus and say, okay, we could do this. Well, here's the thing that's not discussed. I
Mhm.
wonder what sort of overhead impact there is installing these patches while the production server is online, right? Because installing a hot patch is, it's not free. Like CPU compute is a thing.
Right. I I refuse to believe this makes any sense whatsoever. I just don't. Even I'll just admit to a certain level of ignorance on what this requires, and say this sounds to me like something that we should have solved many years ago. And it's bizarre to me that this is not just a feature of every operating system everyone uses. And look, it's a different world. I get that, but like mobile, desktop, we stopped charging for OS updates like over a decade ago, more depending on the
Mm-hmm.
platform. Doesn't make any sense to me. But
Well,
I don't know.
Microsoft is hurting these days. Have you seen their financial? Actually, we'll get that tomorrow.
I was gonna say it's
They're a
coming
small
soon.
indie
I think
company.
it's gonna be okay.
Well, the brilliant is like this is truly feels like the epitome of like nickel and diming because it's almost nickel and dimes.
It's kind of literally nickel and diming.
It
You
is.
know? Yeah.
It's.
I don't know, dude. This is not. I'm just gonna go and enable folder backup and
I'm just mad
OneDrive.
that I'm in
And...
the wrong business line. Like they, right? Like it's.
right. You're just mad you can't charge like this.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we sell an app for $5.
We've
I don't know,
talked about this,
6
right? How
years
indignant
ago.
someone, right?
We
And you're
still
like,
patch it.
you just like, you just think you get free updates for the rest of your life forever,
Yeah. Well, we
Well, you
do
were just
sometimes
talking.
patch old things if they're super bad, but yeah.
No, of course, but I mean, but just the assumption,
No,
like
I know.
it,
It's
it sucks that I'm trying to write this stupid app. It's like the hardest thing in the world. I'm just one person. I have no idea what I'm doing, and I'll just say, software's hard,
oh god, yeah.
and people are like, no, software's just free. It's everywhere,
Yeah, no, no, no.
and
We,
it's
we
like,
we
guys,
build on
geez,
top of these sands aren't just shifting; they are constantly gyrating. And
yeah, yeah,
we,
yeah.
one of our apps is $9 a year, and people will lose their mind over
Yep, yep.
over it. And like
Look,
it's like
it's either you and Netflix, man, and I'm
yeah,
sorry, but the new season of Emily in Paris is coming out, and I don't have time for Stardock right now.
one of the funny things. Probably shouldn't even say this on here, but whatever, I will. So there was like a brief period where like activation server wasn't working for like 12 hours maybe.
Hmm.
Like it might even been a Saturday night or a Sunday night. And some
Hmm.
person who paid $9 for the year wrote in asking like, do I get like, what are you giving me for this? I'm like, okay, if you break down how much of cost per day a 12-hour period where you couldn't activate the software, mind you, you could still use the
And it
application.
was a weekend night, and seriously, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah, well, it comes down to like somebody please do the math of $9 over 365 and a quarter days, and let me know what that comes out to because I don't even think our merchant platform allows you to do a number that small.
Yeah, $9 divided by infinity. Yep. I don't
But
know,
I
man.
mean, that's
I know.
anyways.
I don't know.
Yeah, here we are. I got more fertilizer coming to my house this week. Just
Yep, that's what Timothy McVeigh said one
about to
day,
say,
and
I am
that
just
ended.
one shack in Montana, which I am going to
I
Montana
am
this
one
year,
shot in Montana.
away from.
Yep. Well, someday you too can be part of a museum
There's
exhibit.
some algorithm out there. Like the guy just went on an angry rant. He's
Hmm.
got buying fertilizer by
Like
mail,
angry American white guy who bought fertilizer. Do you think we should maybe track him for a
going to
couple of days?
Montana this year, and he's always talked about wanting a cabin in the hills.
Yep. He seems curiously adept at taking care of, like things in his house. You're just hitting on every warning sign imaginable.
I mean, it's daily podcast is probably somewhere in that skew of like
Yes.
insanity.
Yep. How angry do you have to be to keep this going? Infinity, angry. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. What is today? It's April's somehow over, which is
I know.
alarming in many.
Yeah, mostly
Very
because that means I'm leaving soon. Stupid April.
yeah. Does it get
I
like questionably hot there in the summer? I don't think so. Does it?
Yeah.
Because you're
It's not like that.
yeah.
The hottest time of year is actually usually around March. so it got up in the like high 70s.
Oh, did you
So
yeah, you survived.
we did okay.
Have
Thank
you?
you for asking. I feel like people don't care enough, sometimes, but um, it was fine. Yeah, it's good. It's beautiful here, except for the smog right now. One of the problems is during the non-rainy season, it doesn't rain enough, so get a little air can get a little, ugh.
Yeah.
But so nothing's perfect. If there's an earthquake, they could take this thing down any second. I mean,
You could say that about a lot of places. San Francisco's one large earthquake from becoming the next Hawaii.
I know.
That
I know
Golden
that
Gate
would make
Bridge.
me nervous, and yet here I am in Mexico City, which is probably on exactly the same fault line.
Oh yeah,
And
probably.
then it's on the same fault line and surrounded by volcanoes.
I was going to
What
say the
could go wrong?
volcano. I feel like amps it up a little
Let's
bit, like
let's
on
let's
the.
cover the lake that used to be here with a city, and yeah, that's the most seismically unreliable place on Earth. But we'll be fine.
He went out how I
Probably won't
always
get hit by a
dreamed,
tsunami.
shaking and covered in lava.